Hi and welcome to Fox's Tales, another edition. And tonight we have Steve with us. How you doing, Steve?
Not too bad, mate. How are you? Long time no
Excellent.
see.
Excellent. Yeah. Thank you very much for coming on. We'll get the old
No
frame
worries.
on there. So you've been framed. So move back a little bit. We're a bit squashed now. I'm a bit packed in there, a bit jammed in. Well, like I say, thanks for coming on. I'll get
worries,
straight into it. Your experiences as a fan, from a fan. How
Yeah.
many years have you been a Leicester City fan?
52, 53 years, mate. Long time.
Didn't realise you were that old.
Yeah, yes, mate. Yeah. We've known each other.
Yeah. I've known you for quite so many years. Back in the old days of Glenhill's FC, wasn't it?
Yeah, around about 52, 53 years, something like that.
Excellent.
Just after the World Cup win. Really,
Yeah, what, 1966?
Yeah.
Bloody hell, God, that's
We
quite
won't have
some time.
another one of them.
No,
Right.
not for a while at least. Anyway, depending on who's been selected. So your earliest memory of attending a City game for your first time? How far does your memory work for that one?
It's got a bit of a bad memory, but the one game that sticks out the most, my dad took me down. We were playing West Ham at home, and I think it was '69 season. One of the first games that sticks out is, and we got to the turnstile, and I always remember my dad used to give the bloke on the turnstile a couple of quid or whatever, and chuck me over the turnstile with him. So I basically got in. That's probably why the club skinned at the time.
Yeah, people do chuck over the turnstile for a couple of quid.
Seemed to get in, chuck the kid over the turnstile, and give him a couple of bob for doing that.
Conspiracy in the big game, in the fantastic game.
That was in the old East Stand, mate. In the East Stand, and I stood at the front, and I think we drew 1-1, and Clarkey scored. I don't know who scored for West Ham. But,
any discrepancies in the turnstiles with the old West Ham fans, or did it not sort of happen that early with the?
No, I can't remember any of that. I don't really remember much about the game. I remember it was a cold night. That's about it. But that's when I started to get the bug a little bit. But my dad never used to take me that much. I think I don't know why. But
you probably got bigger and heavier, so you weren't easy to chuck over the top.
Probably, mate. Probably, yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So going back to sort of that era, your favourite player then, and we'll consider the favourite player for the modern day, today's game.
My favourite player back in the days, like early '70s, was Stevie Whitworth. Maybe the same colour hair. I think that's why I got the bug for him. But he was a good servant for the club, real good servant to our club. I don't think he scored any goals in the league, but if my memory's right, he scored the winner in the Charity Shield against Liverpool.
I'd have to check on the archives for that one.
Yeah, and I think he was with us for nearly like 10 years, and he left to go to Sunderland, I think he was. And then we honoured him a testimonial down at the City after he'd left the club, of all things, which I thought was a bit bizarre at the time. But yeah, Stevie Whitworth in them days.
Yeah.
Today, it's got to be Vardy, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's got to be loyalty and what he gives to the club and the team as a whole.
Huge figurehead for the club. Do you still think? What do you think of his current status? But obviously now he's older.
Now he's struggling a bit, isn't he? He's struggling. Personally, I think that he needs somebody up front with him. And I also believe that if he played up front with, say, like Daka, Daka would learn a hell of a lot more playing with him in the Premier League. But you know what Mr. Rodgers is like. He likes his one up front.
He likes his way, doesn't he?
So be it. So, it's got to be Vardy.
So you've had obviously a long innings as a fan. Surely during that time you have met some Leicester City players.
Well, I used to work with Davy Gibson. Remember the old City Davy Gibson, Nishi? I worked with Nishi as well on Royal Mail when we all worked at Royal Mail.
So did you meet any of them when they were actually playing as the icons they were?
No. Players as playing Ricardo. Spoke to Ricardo in Atfield's Farm Shop of all places.
Really?
Nice bloke, real nice bloke.
Bit of a plug there.
let us have a photo with him.
Nice.
One that sticks out to mind really is a long time ago. He played for City. Remember Andy Feely? I think he was a left back or right. Andy Feely, yeah.
Was that 70s?
That was 80s, early 80s, I think.
Early 80s, yeah. I thought it was late 70s, early 80s. Yeah.
Didn't play many games for City, but he actually come to my 21st. My future brother-in-law knew him and dragged him along.
As a bit of you didn't invite the whole team, did you? And he's the only one that turned up then, just to see.
No, we didn't want another Lamanga.
No, gosh, no, crikey not. So yeah, quite cool, yeah. So obviously it was fantastic that we lifted the trophy some seasons ago, but obviously for your own personal memorable moment, what springs to mind?
I've got two. My first ever away game, which was the Division 2 winning side. Larry May scored, Orient. That was my first ever away game, and that gave me the bug to go away games. I was old enough to go on my own at the time. But the standout one for me is the FA Cup final. One of the lucky ones to get a ticket.
Yeah.
And just like the emotion of that, winning that was just unbelievable. I'd say definitely on a par with winning the Premier League. After all the times we tried to win it, semi-final against Spurs at Villa, went to that broken-hearted. It's the FA Cup final for me. Winning it.
I remember one game. It was Leicester against Charlton. Larry May was playing. Pat Byrne was on the bench. We were there with the Cubs at the time, many years ago, and it was quite low down the pitch where the stands were. I think it was opposite the east stand, and we were all sort of stood there at the front, and Pat Burns running up and down, warming up. We're saying, Pat, can you come and sign this? Can you come and sign this? And he said, yeah, in a minute. And he never actually came back and signed it. So we thought, he's a right ignorant swine. But we ended up getting to speak with Larry May somehow. I can't remember how we got to speak to him. And we sort of did it. I think he was a sub. I'm not sure, but we made some bet with him. Said if City win, then can we have a tour around the stadium? And he says, yeah, all right. And this is, if we win. Anyway, they won. I think they won 2-1. So the Cubs, the division of the Cubs, got invited back to have a tour around the stadium. And I remember this tour that we did. And while we went in the boot room, Alan Young's in there with a pair of boots in his hand. He turns around, Youngie's there, big tall Scots, number 9. Yeah. Fantastic. We got to meet Youngie at the time, back in the day then. So yeah, so we're still
good players that played for the badge. The badge. But not like some of these prima donnas nowadays.
Yeah. But Pat Byrne,
Paddy Byrne, I remember him.
Sub.
He's the one that scored the winner. No, he scored the equaliser at Liverpool, Anfield, when we went and broke their record, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He scored, and then Jimmy Melrose scored the winner. Or was it the other way around? I can't remember.
I'm not sure. Probably Melrose more likely, wasn't it?
Yeah, 1-2-1. 2-1. 1-0 down, 1-2-1, I think it was. Stopped there 3 year and beaten home run. So
yeah. So obviously everyone's aware. Obviously, there's the sort of current situation of where they were in the last transfer window, with the lack of funds or possibility of bringing players in. We got one in, one out. So who would you like to see in the next window? Realistically, who do you think would do the job and would come in?
With the garbage that we've actually signed since we actually won the Premier League, I'd just love to see somebody come in that plays for the badge. I don't really care who it is, as long as they give 100% and slightly talented. As long as they play for the badge, and that's all we want. As City fans, that's all we want. Yeah, we want a bit of talent in there, like your Madisons and your Vardys and stuff like that. But I'm so disillusioned with all the stuff that we've signed, and it's been garbage. I mean, Vestergaard, come on, he was a panic buy. Bertrand, he was on a free, another panic. One player that would stick to mind, who I think is a free agent, and it's going back again to somebody that we've had, and he's Kante.
Yeah.
If you got another 2 or 3 seasons out of him in that middle of the park, he gave his all, didn't he? And Yeah, he used this as a stepping
Suffered a bit
stone.
with injury lately, hasn't he?
He has, but one player I would have liked to have seen here, and I believe probably would have come if Schmeichel had stayed, and that's Eriksen.
Yeah, there's possibilities there.
I think if Schmeichel had stayed, he probably would have come. Yeah, but out and out, what's his name? Gallagher, is it, from Chelsea?
Yeah,
the young lad that was on loan at Palace, fits into the way we play. Loads of energy, passes it forward more than back. So whether that's be a problem for him coming here, I don't know. I don't know, mate. To be honest,
it'd be nice, wouldn't it? It'd be nice if a Chelsea player would come the opposite way. It's usually us to Chelsea, and there's nothing coming back this way.
There's plenty out there, but it's whether they'll give their all for the badge. That's a lot of them use like look at Fofana. He uses it as a stepping stone, and that's disappointing. But that's the sign of the times. It's money.
That's the reality, isn't it, of Premier League football for you?
Exactly, mate. Exactly.
So obviously, I've played in the same team as you. So this next question about whether you've played on the pitch, I probably know the answer before I ask it. But you've not played on the
pitch. No, I've never played on.
Have you ever been on the pitch?
I've been on the pitch a few times. Yeah.
Was that by a pitch invasion or by invitation?
A couple of pitch invasions, and I'll just look around. And my lad actually laid that pitch when he worked for the company. He laid the pitch at Spurs as well. He done the Spurs pitch as well.
What, the new one that moves and
the new one?
With
the rotating pitch.
Yeah,
amazing to see.
It is. If anyone's watching and has the opportunity to sort of watch the Spurs pitch move for the American football pitch, it's a video on YouTube. It's a 10 minute, about 10 minutes, but it's really worth watching because it's really, really cool.
It's amazing. It's amazing to see. To be honest with you, Adi, I think as a club, financially, and like with the Tigers, there's always been rumours of Tigers using our pitch. Why not build a stadium joint that could do that? Move the pitch. You've got
certainly it's feasible. It's been proven.
Yeah. Instead of, I mean, I don't like the stadium where it is. Access to it, we should have gone out to town. Personally, it'll be what it'll be. Been there long enough now.
So far, you're incriminated by getting into the ground over the top for nothing. You've done pitch invasions. I dread to think what the next thing is. You have the police knocking on the door in the morning.
Yeah, the knock on the door soon, won't I?
Or the club will be billing you for the revenue you didn't pay for them games.
Yeah, when I renew my season ticket next season, it'll be doubled.
Yeah. By the way, your season ticket's revoked. So outside of the club, which player do you admire the most and why?
For me, I mean, a lot of people don't like him, but for me, it's got to be Ronaldo. For what he does, for what he does when he's not involved with football, for people in general. Like, all right, you can say because people say, it's because he's got the money, he's loaded, he can afford to do that. But how many footballers don't do that? He's paid for children to have operations. I read a little story that I didn't know, that when he was on trial, there was him and his best mate on trial at a club, and his mate said, "No, you take it, because you're a better footballer than me." So over the years, obviously Ronaldo's made it. His mate just was a bit part player and this and that, and he actually bought him a house. Paid for it. He remembered what he'd done for him, because his mate was a better player, but he said that Ronaldo, his mate had turned around and said that you could go further than me. You're more sort of gifted. So I've heard that story a couple of times. Whether that is 100% true, I don't know. But I've heard a lot of things that he's gave a lot of money to charities, paid, say, look, going back to children's operations. So you've got to admire the bloke and his dedication for being so fit at his age.
Yeah, crikey, yeah. Obviously, I know how he feels. over the years.
Yeah. Well, yes, mate. Look at that fine figure of a man.
Oh dear. So, if you could select a player to play in today's 11 or to starting 11 from any era, from what
any
you can
era.
remember, from any era in their prime, which player from yesteryear would it be?
So I'd say Keith Weller.
Is that with or without his white hosiery?
Either, mate. Not bothered. He was a different
player,
class. He was a brilliant player, wasn't he?
He was.
He was really good, and we were lucky enough to see him play. You know, he'd fit in well down the city now. He'd probably show these lads a few things if he was still around.
I think his drinking culture would be a one to show them, wouldn't it? But
definitely.
In a previous tale, a Fox's Tale, I think it was one of the first ones I did. He was my first. He played in my first game I went to see. Totally get where you're coming from with that. Yeah, no doubt whatsoever. Nice simple one here for you. I'm sure you probably indulge. What's your favourite half-time pie?
Got to be Balti, isn't it?
That chicken Balti.
Chicken Balti, yeah.
Yeah.
When they did it, I've not had a pie for a while, but when they did Balti, definitely Balti.
Yeah, very cool.
Struggled to get them anyway.
I don't know if you can hear that in the background. Can you hear the music?
I can hear that, mate. Yeah.
The TV was on pause. No, here's a blooper. The TV literally was on pause and it's just unpaused itself. So really, this is where I should go and turn it off or just leave it in the background and people will think, what is he watching? But I'm near the end anyway, so I'll let it ride. It's not too loud, is it?
No.
So we'll leave that blooper in.
That's fine.
Pre-game drinks. Are you local hero or are you? Well, it would have been a Blues bar, but we'll say Saw Point.
No. We go to the Ayleston District Conservative Club.
Electronic Club. Is that near Middleton Street?
Saffron Lane, opposite Cavendish Road.
Got you. Is that the Duncan Road one? Duncan Road Club near there?
No. It's next to where Bettison's bike shop used to be on the Saffron Lane.
Yeah.
Just up the road, coming towards the centre.
And then have a stroll up
we usually go in there. We usually end up in there for a few pints. A lot cheaper than paying Blues bars prices and local heroes. So,
and finally, which City manager has been your least favourite over time?
I've been thinking about this one, and we've had a few dire ones, but it has to be Peter Taylor, doesn't it?
Another one, Peter Taylor out fan.
Yeah, the amount of money he spent on garbage, and he ruined the club, didn't he? At the end of the day, Wolves were laughing when we signed Akinbaye.
They were, weren't they?
I think they're only asking 4 million for him, but we paid 5.
Yeah, I was there when he scored that one goal. It was against Sunderland. I was there. I was involved with the half-time entertainment at the time. Not personally, but I wasn't performing. But yeah, we were there, and he scored that one goal. Swung his shirt around. I think he did as well. Okay, he scored a goal. Right.
Taylor for me was just. I mean, we had a few. I mean, Pleat was another one, but definitely Taylor.
Cool.
I think it was him that ruined the club.
Set the seed, sowing the seed for the future.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, cool. I mean, we've got a great insight there from your experiences that spans over quite a number of years. We've also got some extra background music in there as well. If anyone is wondering what it was, it was an old nostalgic Top of the Pops that's just been paused in the background. It's just started again. Just in the background. Yeah, it was. Yeah. I don't even know what it is.
Yeah, no worries.
But yeah, we appreciate you coming on, Steve. Thank you very much for your insights.
Enjoyed it.
Again, if anyone wants to come on the show, drop one of the content team a message or drop us an email at Leicester Fan TV. All it is, it's a fan just talking to another fan, just finding out about their own personal experiences and instances within the club. Yeah. But really appreciate you coming on, Steve. Great to see you. Hope you're in good health. Take care of yourself, and we'll catch up with you all going soon.
What do you think Sunday though? Are you there?
Sunday. What do I think Sunday? Well, Wolves coming up. It's a huge 6-pointer, isn't it? Wolves are struggling at the minute. We've been struggling at the minute. I was there last night. That's why I'm a little bit hoarse today. We played better in some patches last night. The crowd lifted and got behind the team when they got stuck in. There were tackles that they should have won. There was a lot of ball given away when it should have been retained.
Yeah, exactly.
When we harassed and pushed and pressed them and won the ball, it was great. I think a lot of balls were wasted when we pumped the ball up. We haven't got an aerial competitive player there now.
No,
not someone that's going to win the ball. Yes, we'll pick up the pieces from that, but at the end of the day, we're not playing potentially to our strengths, or we're just giving the ball away. Lots of mistakes.
Lots of mistakes.
Yeah.
He's got a big problem now though with fitting Maddison back into the side.
Yeah, he has.
Perhaps me played really, really well, and we looked a better side going forward with Pratt in the side.
Yes,
but I'm not saying Maddison's not class, but we looked good last night. Different.
I think when Maddison comes back fit, I do got to take that on our Gary Barlow. I do think that Maddison will make way by the means of Pratt. I just think that that's his number, isn't it?
Wait and see. Not our problem, isn't it?
But I thought that when Mendy came on, slotted in lovely for Samare. That was very good substitution, like for like. But Magic Mendy, as Jamie calls him, didn't put a foot wrong, tidied up, made a really good chase back. He made the error. It was a bad pass early on, but he tracked back, chased back in, and got back in there and put the tackle in that snuffed the attack out. So he made amends, but that's the sort of player you want that's going to chase back and put a foot in, isn't it?
We need to cut that out, don't we? Cut that out.
Silly mistakes, concentration, and keep plugging. Every game now is an FA Cup final to the end of the season. Simple as that.
Of course it is.
Wouldn't
be Leicester if it weren't, would it?
Oh no, it wouldn't, would it? Right. We've gone over a little bit, but that's great. Thanks again.
Yes.
Good to see you all. And
see you
again. Thanks, guys. Thank you. Thanks for watching all. Cheers. Thank you. Bye-bye.
No worries. Bye.